So feeding and watering systems are things we need to also take into account. And in the feeding aspect, we talk about the feeders. Feeders are basically things that or materials or equipment that you put the feed of your pigs into so that they will eat it. We have those for piglets and we have those for mature pigs. Some can be automatic, some can be manually done or mechanical, or you go to supply the feed by yourself. So if you have the budget and you think you can construct the automatic one, fine. Otherwise, just get what you yourself will be fetching the feed into it for them. That is the feeders. And how do you also store this feed? If once you have bought the feed, you can't use it all at once. You need to get a place that will keep this feed. And you have to keep them on a place that is very dry and free from moisture, as well as rodents. These rodents, they're able to carry these pathogens to your feed. And if you supply this to your animals and the pathogens are very harmful, they're going to deal with your animals, especially the vulnerable ones as the piglets and pregnant pigs on the farm. So all you need to do is ensure the place is very dry and with good air circulation, as well as it should be high on the surface where water cannot get into it. And in terms of the watering system also, we have these nipples where you install them on the wall. For the number of nipples to store in a room, if you have 10 pigs in a room, you install at least 3 nipples on the wall so that the pigs can have access to it. While some are eating, some will go there to drink and come back to join the feed, and then the next group will go there to have access to it. So for every 10 pigs, you have at least 3 nipples. And for the watering systems too, if you don't have these nipples installed or you're doing it manually, ensure the container where you supply the water into is always clean. You wash it in the morning, you fill it. In the evening when you come to feed them again, you clean the container, you fill it with water again. As you intend setting up your farm, know that definitely these places are going to produce a lot of waste. So you need to also know how you're going to manage the waste on the farm. Waste management is very important. If possible, what I'll tell you is designate an area on your farm and then you guard against it using maybe a wire mesh or something like that, and you cement the floor. Anytime you see the feces of your pigs, you go there to dump them there. Later, you can convert them into something very beneficial to the soil. Either you compost the feces and distribute them on the soil and plow them and use them to produce crops for your animals or you sell them. So always get a nice place where you always pick these feces, go and deposit them. From time you then sell or you compost them and use them as manure for your farm. So waste management is also important you need to consider, especially if your farm is located in a place that people like to complain a lot. You need to ensure that your farm is free from smell. To be able to ensure this, you need to have a separate area on your farm and should be a bit distant from the main farm so that you always transport the waste there, either in your wheelbarrow or in your vehicle. Take it there, deposit them there from time, then you can go back and use them for whatever purpose you intend to. Once you're setting up your farm, irrespective of the kind of floor you're using, so let's say you're just using the cemented floor, you need to construct outlets. And with this outlet, what that will do is if the page urinates in the pen, it will run through the outlet. It should be slopey enough to ensure the water runs through it by itself and leave through the other end so that it will go to a channel where you then move the entire water into it, maybe in a container you have or a septic tank somewhere. It will all go there and which can later be used for other purposes on your farm. So if you're constructing this drainage system, also, you ensure that it is covering all the places so that the water after washing or after urinating just go through them and then you flush everything down. Now that you have also decided to set up your farm, you need to also look at the health aspect. Here, you need to get some veterinary supplies, whether medicines, the syringes, and then some antiseptics. You need to get a container, like a first aid container. And basically, in pig farming, I always say, even if you don't have anything at all, any medicine at all in your farm or in your first aid box, you should have one you use for deworming your pigs. And then you need to also get the iron for piglets at all times. You need to also get some antibiotics to take care of some bacterial infection and then antiseptics in case you castrate your animal or you tail dock it. You dip the cat end into the iodine solution to take care of the wound. And you need to also get this kind of a spray, aerosol spray, like it's a tetracycline liquid form like that, which is used to treat wounds. Let's just assume that your pig has a cut. You don't want to also catch the pig and treat the wound. All you can do is get this aerosol spray. It's a spray form. You apply it about 2 seconds onto the surface, and then it takes care of the wound as well as keeping flies away to help your animals stay healthy. As part of the farm setup, you need to also have something we call the general infrastructure, and one of it is the fencing. After your farm is built, constructed properly, you need to guide against the exteriors of it. And that one you do by using walls. or wire mesh high enough to keep outsiders from entering your farm. So before somebody gets into your farm, they need to open this fence, the gate of the fence, before they can get into the farm. Have a fence around your farm, either with wood or blocks or even a wire mesh. Take around it to guide your farm like that. And if you're also building this, you have to also consider something like storage facilities. Where you're going to keep your farm equipment. You can't just scatter the whole things on the floor like that. You need to get a specific room or place in the farm where you keep all your equipment and your tools. The shovels you'll be using, the wheelbarrows you are using, your boots you use for working on the farm. So you need to also plan for all this so that you keep your farm organized. Sometimes you want to look a bit professional in what you're doing so that when people come, they take us very serious for our activities. In that case, you can have also a farm office around where visitors are taken to get seated. As you ask them about why they're on your farm, their mission, and then if there's any business you have to do with them, you document everything down. And if you are contemplating on how to create maybe a record system for your animals, I've also included a link in the description. All you can do is go there, download this record keeping. It will help you to keep track of your buyers as well as whatever activity you're doing on your farm. Okay, so going to pig farming and setting up your farm shouldn't be anything very difficult for you to do. Just have the mindset of going in there to succeed. With little support, which I am here to always provide, you are going to succeed and excel in whatever activities you intend to undertake.